Humans enter the scene. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, countless civilizations had risen and fallen, their histories etched into the very fabric of space-time. For millennia, the galaxy had been dominated by the Galactic Confederation, a loose alliance of advanced species that maintained a delicate balance of power. They were the self-proclaimed guardians of order, progress, and galactic stability. The year was 2157 by Earth's calendar, when humanity made its first tentative steps beyond the Sol system. It had been a century since the first humans set foot on Mars, and in that time, Earth had undergone a technological renaissance. Fusion power, quantum computing, and rudimentary faster-than-light travel had all become realities. Yet to the established powers of the galaxy, humans were still considered primitive upstarts. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the ESS Horizon, Earth's first true interstellar vessel. At 45, she was considered young for such a critical command, but her brilliance in both tactics and diplomacy had earned her this position. As the ship prepared to make its first jump beyond the heliopause, Elena felt the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. "Final checks complete, Admiral," reported her XO, Commander Takashi Yamamoto. "We're ready to make the jump on your order." Elena nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the view screen showing the star-studded blackness of space. "Initiate jump sequence, Commander. Let's make history." The horizon shuddered slightly as its experimental FTL drive engaged. In a flash of blue-white light, the ship vanished from the edge of Earth's solar system, reappearing light years away in a system humans had only ever seen through telescopes. As the crew celebrated their successful jump, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. "Multiple contacts," shouted the sensor officer. "Large vessels on an intercept course." Elena's training kicked in immediately. Battle stations, raise shields and charge weapons, but do not fire unless fired upon. Open all communication channels. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that made even the seasoned admiral gasp. A flotilla of ships, each easily dwarfing the horizon, surrounded them. Their designs were alien and beautiful, all smooth lines and iridescent materials that seemed to shift and flow. A voice, simultaneously guttural and melodic, filled the bridge. "Unknown vessel, you have entered restricted Zarquin space. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded." Elena straightened her uniform and stepped forward. "This is Admiral Elena Rodriguez of the Earth Ship Horizon. We come in peace and were unaware this region was restricted. We request diplomatic dialogue." There was a long pause before the alien voice responded. "Earth? You are humans." The tone was a mixture of surprise and what Elena thought might be amusement. "That is correct," Elena replied, her voice steady despite the tension. Another pause, then, "Very well, human. Your ship will be escorted to the nearest outpost. Any aggressive action will result in your immediate destruction." End transmission. As the communication cut off, Elena turned to her crew. "Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems we've stumbled into the galactic neighborhood a bit earlier than expected. Let's make sure we put our best foot forward." The journey to the alien outpost was tense but uneventful. Elena used the time to brief her crew and prepare for what she hoped would be a diplomatic encounter. As they approached their destination, gasps of awe filled the bridge. The outpost was a massive structure, a glittering web of interconnected spheres and spires that seemed to defy the laws of physics. It dwarfed anything humanity had ever constructed, making even their most ambitious space stations look like children's toys in comparison. As the horizon was guided into a docking bay, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries. First contact with an advanced alien civilization. Now that it was here, she realized that all their preparations, all their speculations, might prove woefully inadequate. The docking procedure completed with a soft thud, and Elena took a deep breath. "Commander Yamamoto, Dr. Chen, you're with me. Let's go meet our hosts." As they stepped off the horizon, They were met by a delegation of aliens. The Zarquin, as they called themselves, were tall, slender beings with iridescent skin that seemed to ripple with colors. Their large, multifaceted eyes regarded the humans with what Elena hoped was curiosity rather than hostility. One of the aliens stepped forward, its voice translating through some unseen technology. "I am Xorl, overseer of this sector. Welcome, humans, to the Galactic Confederation. We have been expecting you." Elena bowed slightly, a gesture she hoped would be understood as respectful. "Overseer Xorl, we are honored to make your acquaintance. We come seeking peaceful exchange and mutual understanding." Xorl's skin rippled with shades of blue and green. "A noble sentiment, Admiral Rodriguez. However, you must understand that your arrival here is problematic. Your species was not scheduled for first contact for another century, at least." Elena's diplomatic mask slipped for a moment, revealing her surprise. "Scheduled? I'm afraid I don't understand." "Of course you don't," Xorl replied, a hint of condescension in its tone. "The Galactic Confederation maintains order in this sector of the galaxy. We monitor developing species and integrate them into the galactic community when they are deemed ready." Dr. Chen, the Horizon's chief scientist, spoke up. "And who determines when a species is ready?" Xorl's skin flashed with spots of red. "We do, of course. We have guided the development of countless civilizations. It is our duty, and our right as the eldest races of the galaxy." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. The implications of Xorl's words were staggering. How long had Earth been watched? How much of humanity's development had been influenced or controlled by these alien overseers? "I see," Elena said carefully. "And now that we're here, what happens next?" Xorl's multifaceted eyes seemed to study Elena intently. "That remains to be seen, Admiral. Your unscheduled arrival has created quite a stir among the Confederation Council. Some argue for immediate quarantine of your species. Others suggest more drastic measures." Elena's hand instinctively moved towards her sidearm, but she caught herself. "Overseer Xorl, I hope you understand that humanity will not simply accept being quarantined or dealt with. We have our own destiny to forge." The alien's skin rippled with what might have been amusement. "Brave words, Admiral. But you have no idea of the forces you're dealing with. The Confederation's technology is millennia beyond your own. Resistance would be unfortunate." As Elena prepared to respond, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Xorl's skin paled to an almost translucent state. "Impossible," it muttered. The station shook, and through the massive viewports, Elena saw flashes of light in the distance. A voice, speaking in the same language as the Zarquin but clearly agitated, came over the station's communication system. Xorl turned to the humans, its composure shaken. "It seems, Admiral Rodriguez, that your arrival was not as unscheduled as we thought. A large fleet of ships, using technology we've never encountered, has just appeared at the edge of this system. They're hailing us, in human languages." Elena's mind raced. A human fleet? How was that possible? The Horizon was supposed to be Earth's first and only interstellar ship, unless... "Overseer," Elena said, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. "I believe it's time we had a more in-depth discussion about humanity's place in this galaxy. It seems we may have some surprises for you after all." As Xorl's multifaceted eyes flickered between Elena and the distant flashes of battle, the human admiral allowed herself a small smile. Humanity's first steps into the galactic stage had been more dramatic than anyone could have imagined. Earth's secret weapon. While Admiral Elena Rodriguez and her crew were making first contact with the Zarquin light years away, hidden deep within an asteroid in the Kuiper Belt, Dr. Samantha Reeves was putting the final touches on humanity's greatest secret, the Supernova project, as it was known to only a handful of individuals on Earth, had been in development for over 2 decades. It began as a theoretical exercise, a thought experiment on harnessing the power of dying stars. But as humanity's understanding of physics evolved, what was once impossible became merely improbable, and then, with time and relentless effort, a reality. Samantha stood before a holographic display, her green eyes reflecting the swirling simulations of stellar collapse. At 38, she was considered a prodigy in the field of astrophysics, but the weight of the project had aged her beyond her years. Dark circles under her eyes spoke of countless sleepless nights, and her once vibrant red hair was streaked with premature gray. "Dr. Reeves," a voice called from behind her. "The final calibrations are complete. We're ready for the live test." Samantha turned to face her assistant, Dr. Raj Patel. His usually cheerful face was etched with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. She nodded, taking a deep breath. "All right, Raj. Let's make history." They walked together through the sprawling underground complex, passing by hundreds of scientists and engineers, all working feverishly on different aspects of the project. The facility hummed with an energy that was part excitement, part fear. As they entered the main control room, a hush fell over the assembled team. Samantha stepped up to the central console, her fingers hovering over the activation sequence. She looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each team member. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. "What we're about to do will change the course of human history. For years, we've worked in secret, knowing that our efforts might be the only thing standing between humanity and extinction. Today, we find out if it was all worth it." She turned back to the console, entering a complex series of commands. On the massive screen before them, a 3D representation of their secret fleet appeared. 50 ships, each powered by what they called a supernova core, a contained stellar collapse that provided nearly limitless energy. "Initiating power-up sequence," Samantha announced. The room held its collective breath as energy readings began to spike across the board. Phase 1 complete. Moving to Phase 2, spatial folding. This was the moment of truth. If successful, their fleet would be able to traverse vast distances instantaneously, folding space itself rather than traveling through it. It was technology so advanced that even in their wildest dreams, the aliens of the Galactic Confederation hadn't conceived of it. Alarms suddenly blared, and for a heart-stopping moment, Samantha feared something had gone wrong. But then she saw the readings and allowed herself a smile. "Energy spike detected in the Zarquin system," she announced. "The horizon has made contact." A cheer went up around the room. Their timing was perfect. Just as humanity made its official first contact, their secret fleet was ready to be unveiled. "Spatial folding successful," Raj reported, his voice filled with awe. "All ships report ready for jump." Samantha nodded, her finger hovering over the final command. This was it, the moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. "Initiate jump," she ordered. On the screen, the fleet of 50 ships winked out of existence in the Kuiper Belt. A moment later, they reappeared at the edge of the Zarquin system, thousands of light-years away. The control room erupted in cheers and applause. Tears of joy and relief streamed down faces that had been tense with concentration just moments before. They had done it. Humanity now possessed technology that could reshape the very fabric of space-time. As the celebration continued around her, Samantha's mind was already racing ahead. The easy part was over. Now came the real challenge, revealing themselves to both the aliens and to the rest of humanity. How would the world react to learning that such a massive secret had been kept from them? How would the Galactic Confederation respond to a species that had leapfrogged millennia of technological development in just a few decades? "Dr. Reeves," Raj said, pulling her from her thoughts, "we're receiving a transmission from Admiral Chen aboard the flagship." Samantha straightened her lab coat and nodded. "Put him through." The face of Admiral David Chen, a stern-looking man in his late 50s, appeared on the screen. "Dr. Reeves," he began, his voice tight with controlled excitement, "the jump was successful. We've arrived in the Zarquin system and have made contact with the ESS horizon. Your supernova cores are performing beyond our wildest expectations. Excellent news, Admiral, Samantha replied. What's the situation there? Tense, Chen answered. The Zarquin seem surprised by our arrival. They're demanding explanations. I think it's time we showed them what humanity is truly capable of. Samantha nodded. This was the moment they had prepared for. Proceed as planned, Admiral. And please, convey my respect to Admiral Rodriguez. She's played her part perfectly. As the transmission ended, Samantha turned to address her team once more. Everyone, I know we're all excited and relieved, but our work is far from over. We've just changed the balance of power in the galaxy, and there will be consequences. But whatever comes next, know this. Today, you've all made humanity proud. The room fell silent as the weight of her words sank in. They had achieved the impossible, but in doing so, they had also painted a target on humanity's back. The Galactic Confederation would not take kindly to being so thoroughly outmaneuvered. As if on cue, alarms began to blare once more. Dr. Reeves, one of the technicians, called out, "We're detecting massive energy buildups in the Zarquin system. It looks like they're mobilizing their entire fleet." Samantha's jaw set in determination. This was it, the moment of truth. Humanity's grand unveiling had just turned into a potential first strike. "Alert Admiral Chen," she ordered. "Tell him to prepare for possible hostile action, and get me a direct line to the President. It's time the world knew what we've done." As the control room burst into frantic activity, Samantha allowed herself one last moment of reflection. For better or worse, humanity had just announced its presence on the galactic stage in the grandest way possible. The Supernova project, born of humanity's relentless drive to survive and thrive, was about to face its ultimate test. In the vastness of space, two fleets faced each other. One, the mighty armada of an ancient galactic power. The other, a small but impossibly advanced force representing the newest player in the cosmic game. The next few moments would determine not just the fate of humanity, but potentially the future of the entire galaxy. Samantha Reeves, the architect of this audacious plan, stood ready to face whatever came next. Humanity had brought supernova ships to a game the aliens didn't even know they were playing. Now it was time to see if their gamble would pay off. Tensions rise. The Zarquin outpost was in chaos. Alarms blared incessantly as reports flooded in from all corners of the system. The impossible had happened. A fleet of unknown ships had appeared out of nowhere, using technology that defied the Confederation's understanding of physics. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood tall, her posture radiating calm authority, despite the pandemonium around her. Beside her, Overseer Sorrel's iridescent skin flickered rapidly through a spectrum of colors, betraying the alien's agitation. "Explain this, Admiral," Sorrel demanded, its multifaceted eyes fixed on Elena. "You claim to be on a peaceful mission of first contact, yet an entire fleet of warships appears at our doorstep." Elena met the alien's gaze steadily. "Overseer, I assure you that I was as surprised by this development as you are. However, given your earlier threats of quarantine or more drastic measures, perhaps you can understand why my people might have taken precautions." Before Sorrel could respond, a new voice cut through the chaos. "This is Admiral David Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet. I request an immediate audience with the leadership of this outpost and the Galactic Confederation." Elena's eyebrows rose slightly. Earth Defense Fleet. The existence of such a force was news to her, but she quickly composed herself. Whatever was happening, she needed to present a united front. Sorrel's skin paled to an almost translucent state. "Very well," it said, its voice trained. "We will convene an emergency session of the Sector Council. Admiral Rodriguez, you and your unexpected reinforcements will attend." As they made their way to the council chambers, Elena's mind raced. Who was this Admiral Chen? How had Earth managed to build an entire fleet without anyone knowing? And more importantly, what did this mean for humanity's future in the galaxy? The council chamber was a vast, circular room. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing the faces of various alien species, the leadership of the Galactic Confederation in this sector. At the center stood Alina, Hexoral, and the newly arrived Admiral Chen, a stern-faced man in his late 50s who carried himself with the confidence of someone used to command. Esteemed members of the Confederation, Hexoral began, its voice echoing through the chamber. We face an unprecedented situation. The human species, previously thought to be centuries away from true interstellar capability, has arrived in force at our doorstep. Murmurs rippled through the assembled aliens. Alina could sense fear, anger, and curiosity in equal measure. Admiral Chen stepped forward. Honored representatives of the Galactic Confederation, he began, his voice steady and commanding. I come before you today to announce humanity's official entry onto the galactic stage. We have achieved what you thought impossible, and we come seeking peaceful coexistence and mutual exchange. One of the alien counselors, a being that seemed to be made of living crystal, spoke up. Peaceful? You bring a fleet of warships to our space and call it peace. Chen's expression remained impassive. We brought a fleet because we suspected our welcome might be less than warm. Your overseer's threats against Admiral Rodriguez and her crew have proven our caution justified. Alina decided it was time to interject. Members of the Council, I believe we stand at a crossroads. Yes, humanity has surprised you with our rapid advancement, but this could be an opportunity for both our peoples. We bring new ideas, new technologies that could benefit all. Sorrel's skin rippled with dark colors. New technologies. You speak of abominations. Your ships fold space itself. Such power was never meant for younger races to wield. And who decides that? Chen countered. You? The Confederation. Humanity has always pushed the boundaries of what's possible. It's in our nature to explore, to innovate, to overcome challenges you might deem impossible. The council chamber erupted into heated debate. Some councilors argued for immediate action against the human fleet, while others urged caution and diplomacy. Amidst the chaos, a new hologram flickered to life, a face Alina recognized instantly. Dr. Samantha Reeves, one of Earth's most brilliant physicists. Esteemed counselors, Samantha began, her voice cutting through the din. I am Dr. Samantha Reeves, the lead scientist of what we call the Supernova project. I believe I can offer some explanations that might ease your concerns. The room fell silent. All eyes and sensor arrays focused on this new human. Samantha took a deep breath before continuing. What you've witnessed today is the culmination of decades of work. We call it the Supernova Core, a way to harness the power of a collapsing star in a controlled, sustainable manner. This energy allows us not just to travel faster than light, but to fold space itself, creating shortcuts through the cosmos. The crystalline counselor spoke again, its voice tinged with both awe and fear. Such power, it's unthinkable for a species as young as yours to wield it. Perhaps, Samantha conceded, but necessity is the mother of invention. When we realized the vastness of the galaxy and the potential threats it held, we knew we had to push beyond our limits. The Supernova project was born out of our desire to survive, to ensure humanity had a place among the stars. Hexoral stepped forward, its skin now a deep, troubled blue. You speak of survival, Dr. Reeves, but do you understand the responsibility that comes with such power? The Confederation has maintained peace in this galaxy for millennia by carefully controlling the spread of technology. Elena saw an opening and took it. With all due respect, Overseer, that peace came at the cost of freedom for developing species like ours. You decided when we were ready, but readiness is something we determine for ourselves. Admiral Chen nodded in agreement. We come not to disrupt your Confederation, but to join it as equals. Humanity has much to offer. Our resourcefulness, our creativity, our unique perspective as newcomers to the galactic stage. The council chamber fell into thoughtful silence. The initial shock and fear were giving way to curiosity, and in some cases, excitement at the possibilities this new situation presented. Finally, a new voice spoke, a being of pure energy contained within a sophisticated mechanical shell. I believe, it said, its voice resonating with ancient wisdom, that we are witnessing a pivotal moment in galactic history. The humans have demonstrated capabilities that challenge our long-held beliefs about technological progress. Perhaps it is time for the Confederation to evolve. Thoral's skin rippled with surprise. Honored Eldarch, surely you're not suggesting we simply accept these humans and their dangerous technology into our midst. The Eldarch's energy form pulsed gently. That is precisely what I am suggesting, Overseer. For too long, we have stagnated, content in our perceived superiority. The humans offer us a chance to grow, to see the universe through fresh eyes. As the council erupted into discussion once more, Elena exchanged glances with Admiral Chen and the hologram of Dr. Reeves. They had done it. They had wedged their foot in the door of galactic politics. But this was just the beginning. The next few hours would be crucial. Humanity needed to navigate this delicate situation carefully, balancing between asserting their right to exist as equals in the galaxy and not appearing as a threat that needed to be eliminated. As Elena prepared to speak again, she felt the weight of her entire species' future on her shoulders. Whatever happened next would shape the course of human history for generations to come. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, ready to fight for humanity's place among the stars. Humanity's gambit. The tense negotiations in the Zarquin outpost were abruptly interrupted by a series of alarms. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing a massive fleet of Confederation ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system. Zoral's skin flashed a deep crimson. What is the meaning of this? It demanded, turning to face the other council members. The crystalline counselor's voice was cold and sharp. The Supreme Council has made its decision. The humans are too dangerous to be allowed to roam free. Their technology must be contained or destroyed. Admiral Elena Rodriguez felt her heart sink. Despite their best efforts at diplomacy, it seemed conflict was inevitable. She exchanged a quick glance with Admiral Chen, who gave her an almost imperceptible nod. Chen stepped forward, his voice calm but authoritative. Members of the Confederation, we came here in peace, seeking cooperation. But if you force our hand, know this: humanity will defend itself. The Eldarch, the being of pure energy, pulsed with what seemed like sadness. I fear we stand at the precipice of a terrible mistake. Honored colleagues, I implore you to reconsider this course of action. But the decision had been made. The Confederation fleet, thousands of ships strong, began to advance on the small group of human vessels. Elena tapped her communicator. All hands, battle stations. This is not a drill. She turned to Chen. Admiral, I hope your ships are as impressive as they seem. We're outnumbered at least 100 to 1. Chen's lips quirked in a small smile. Numbers aren't everything, Admiral Rodriguez. Dr. Reeves, if you would do the honors. The hologram of Dr. Samantha Reeves nodded, her fingers dancing over an unseen console. Initiating Supernova Protocol Alpha. Suddenly, the space around the human ships began to warp and twist. The Confederation fleet, charging in with overwhelming force, found their formation shattered as space itself seemed to fold and ripple around them. What are they doing? Thor gasped, its skin pale with shock. Elena allowed herself a small, grim smile. Showing you why humanity has survived against all odds, Overseer. We don't just use technology, we rewrite the rules. On the tactical displays, the human ships were blinking in and out of existence, appearing at seemingly random locations throughout the Confederation fleet. Each appearance was accompanied by precise, devastatingly effective strikes against key enemy vessels. The Confederation's numerical advantage was quickly becoming meaningless. Their ships, designed for combat in normal space, were helpless against an enemy that could literally bend spacetime to their will. "This is Admiral Chen to all Earth ships." Chen's voice rang out. "Remember our mission. Disable, don't destroy. We're here to make a point, not to annihilate." Elena nodded in approval. Even in the heat of battle, humanity was trying to minimize loss of life. It was a stark contrast to the Confederation's shoot-first approach. As the battle raged on, Dr. Reeves' hologram turned to address the stunned Confederation Council. "What you're witnessing is just a fraction of what the Supernova core can do. We can fold space, creating shortcuts across vast distances. We can manipulate gravity, turning it into both weapon and shield. But most importantly, we can do all this without destroying worlds or ripping apart the fabric of space-time." The Eldarch's energy form pulsed rapidly, its mechanical shell analyzing the battle with inhuman speed. "Fascinating. They're not just using brute force. Each movement, each attack is precisely calculated. They're disabling our ships with surgical precision." Indeed, across the battlefield, Confederation ships were going dark, their systems overloaded by targeted gravitational pulses. Crews found themselves trapped in localized time distortions, experiencing hours while mere seconds passed for the rest of the fleet. In the span of what felt like only minutes, the tide of battle had turned completely. The mighty Confederation armada was in disarray, more than half of its ships disabled or retreating. Admiral Chen's voice cut through the chaos. "Attention, Confederation fleet. You have witnessed but a small demonstration of our capabilities. We have disabled your ships without destroying them. Your crews are unharmed, merely inconvenienced. Stand down now, and let us return to diplomacy." There was a long, tense moment of silence. Then, gradually, the remaining Confederation ships powered down their weapons. In the council chamber, the mood had shifted dramatically. Fear and anger had given way to a mix of awe and cautious respect. The crystalline counselor was the first to speak. "We may have been hasty in our judgment. Perhaps there is more to these humans than we initially thought." Exoral, its skin a swirling mix of colors reflecting its turbulent emotions, turned to Elena. "Admiral Rodriguez, it seems we have gravely underestimated your species. I believe we owe you an apology." Elena nodded solemnly. "Apology accepted, Overseer. But more importantly, I hope this demonstrates that humanity is not a threat to be contained, but a potential ally to be embraced." The Eldarch's energy form stabilized, pulsing with a warm golden light. "Indeed, humans have shown not only technological prowess, but also restraint and wisdom in its application. These are qualities we value highly in the Confederation." As the Council began to discuss the implications of what they had just witnessed, Elena felt a mix of relief and apprehension. They had avoided all-out war, but the real challenge was just beginning. How would humanity integrate into a galactic community that had initially feared and rejected them? What role would they play in shaping the future of the Confederation? One thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had arrived on the cosmic stage, armed with technology that defied imagination and a spirit that couldn't be broken. As Elena looked out at the stars, she knew that this was just the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure. The battle was over, but the real work of building trust, forging alliances, and carving out humanity's place in the galaxy was just beginning. With the power of the Supernova core at their disposal and the indomitable human spirit driving them forward, Elena knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity was ready to face them head-on. A new era in the galaxy. In the days following the brief but momentous battle, the Zarquin outpost became the center of frenetic diplomatic activity. Representatives from across the Galactic Confederation poured in, eager to meet the species that had so dramatically announced its presence on the cosmic stage. Admiral Elena Rodriguez found herself at the heart of these discussions, working tirelessly alongside Admiral Chen and Dr. Samantha Reeves to forge a new understanding between humanity and the galactic community. The key, Elena explained to a group of alien diplomats, is to understand that we don't see our technology as a weapon, but as a tool. The supernova core represents humanity's drive to overcome our limitations, to explore and understand the universe in ways we never thought possible. Dr. Reeves nodded, adding, "We're more than willing to share our discoveries, to work with the Confederation to explore the implications of our technology. Imagine what we could achieve together." The response from the galactic community was mixed. Some species, like the energy beings represented by the Eldark, were fascinated by the possibilities. Others, particularly those who had long enjoyed technological superiority, were more hesitant. Horrell, who had become something of a liaison between humanity and the Confederation, approached Elena during a break in the negotiations. Its skin shimmered with a mix of blue and green, indicating curiosity tinged with lingering apprehension. "Admiral Rodriguez," it began, "I must admit, your species continues to surprise me. Many in your position would be demanding concessions, using your technological advantage as leverage. Yet you speak of cooperation, of mutual benefit." Elena smiled. "That's because we understand something fundamental, Overseer. The universe is vast and full of wonders and dangers beyond our imagination. We're stronger together than we are apart." As the days turned into weeks, the initial shock of humanity's arrival began to give way to cautious optimism. The Confederation, realizing that they couldn't simply wish away or contain this new player in galactic politics, began to seriously consider how to integrate Earth into their structure. One particular meeting stood out in Elena's memory. The Eldar had called together a special session of the Sector Council, including the human representatives. "Fellow sentients," the Eldarch began, its energy form pulsing with a warm, golden light, "we stand at a crossroads. The arrival of humanity and their supernova technology has shown us that our understanding of the universe is far from complete. We have a choice. We can cling to our old ways, our old hierarchies, or we can embrace this opportunity for growth and change." The crystalline counselor, who had initially been one of the strongest voices against humanity, spoke up. "But how can we be sure this technology is safe? That it won't destabilize the very fabric of space-time?" Dr. Reeves stepped forward. "With all due respect, Counselor, we've been using this technology for years without any negative effects on space-time. But more importantly, we're offering to work with you, to combine our knowledge and safeguard against any potential risks." Admiral Chen added, "Our goal isn't to dominate or disrupt, but to contribute. Earth has much to learn from the Confederation, and we believe we have much to offer in return." The discussions went on for hours, delving into the intricacies of physics, the ethics of technological advancement, and the structure of galactic governance. By the end, a new framework was beginning to take shape, one that would see humanity joining the Confederation not as a subject race, but as a full partner. As the meeting concluded, Elena felt a sense of profound accomplishment. They had done it. Humanity had secured its place among the stars. But the work was far from over. As Elena, Chen, and Reeves prepared to return to Earth to brief the global leadership, they knew that the real challenges were just beginning. "We're going to need to restructure our entire society," Reeves mused as they boarded their ship. "The whole world needs to be brought up to speed on what's happened, on the reality of our place in the galaxy." Chen nodded solemnly. "And we need to prepare for the changes this will bring. Our cities, our education system, our very way of life. Everything will need to adapt to our new reality as a spacefaring civilization." Elena looked out at the stars, a mix of excitement and trepidation filling her. "It won't be easy," she said. "There will be those who resist, who fear change. But I believe this is the moment humanity has been waiting for. A chance to truly reach our potential." As their ship engaged its supernova core, folding space to return to Earth in mere moments, Elena reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From the first hesitant steps into space to the bold leap that had announced their presence to the galaxy, humanity had come so far. The ship emerged from its space fold just outside Earth's orbit. The blue marble of their homeworld filled the view screen, beautiful and fragile in the vastness of space. "Look at it," Reeves breathed. "Everything we've ever known, everyone we've ever loved. And now, we're about to connect it to a galaxy full of wonders." Chen's usually stern face softened. "It's a heavy responsibility. We're not just representatives of Earth anymore. We're the bridge between humanity and the rest of the galaxy." Elena nodded, her resolve strengthening. "Then let's make sure we build that bridge strong and true. For all of us, human and alien alike." As they began their descent towards Earth, Elena knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had taken its first real steps into the galactic community. There would be challenges ahead, new discoveries, new conflicts, and new alliances. But armed with their ingenuity, their determination, and the power of the supernova core, humanity was ready to face whatever the universe had in store. The stars had once seemed so distant, so unreachable. Now, they were humanity's new frontier, full of possibilities waiting to be explored. As their ship touched down on Earth, Elena allowed herself a smile. The future was unwritten, and humanity held the pen. In the years to come, Earth would transform. Cities would reach into the skies, ships would fold space between stars, and human knowledge would expand exponentially as they learned from and contributed to the galactic community. But through it all, they would remain uniquely human, curious, resilient, and ever striving to push the boundaries of what was possible. The age of Earth's isolation was over. The era of humanity as a true galactic civilization had begun, and the universe would never be the same again.